This is awkward. You know, we've never done anything like this before, so bear with us. We've been very surprised by the support and that you guys have shown us, and the love that you're extending to our family. And it's very encouraging, and we really appreciate it. And we had Chris from SBSK come and do a video on our family about disabilities. And it just seems like since then you guys have been very interested to find out about our adoption story and how the kids came to be a part of our family, and so we'll talk about that.
Right, so we started off with an adoption, one time an adoption, and we wanted to have a large family, and we had one biological son who's Joel, and we're very happy with him. And he's a terrific boy and terrific son, and we're very happy, although we did want more, and we wanted more children, and we wanted to have a large family, and don't know how many that would have been, 3, 4, 5, 6, we don't know. But when we tried to have additional children after Joel, they didn't come. So they didn't come the old-fashioned way, and they didn't come through supernatural ways, through infertility treatments or gift or IVF procedures.
We were diagnosed with unexplained secondary infertility.
So years went by.
We were 30.
Years went by, and we didn't have any more children on the horizon. So we started to consider adoption. And we, at first, were considering just going. We didn't know much about adoption, so we started looking at agencies and considering.
Foster training.
We did. We found out about a little girl who was part of was in a county facility, and so we got advice to go to the foster care training, and as part of that, they would give you they would do a home study for you, and we had been told that you could do foster training, and that would, you know, help prepare for eventual adoption if there was a foster situation like a newborn or something like that that would, you know, go on to be full adoption. We weren't set up immediately to do foster care or foster. We didn't think that that was something that we were looking to do, but we were looking for a more permanent solution. But that foster care was, or the foster training was a good part, and to learn about kids that needed parents.
And that experience and training did come in very handy, you know, years later. But what happened, we never did foster or adopt a child through the county. Well, we did ultimately adopt through the county, but we never did go into foster care. So I used to own this little store, and in the store, you know, the ladies, we talk and, you know, about things. And people there knew that we were looking to adopt, and so there was a friend of one of my customers who knew of a couple in South Korea that had taken in this little girl, and they were looking for a family for her. And so they told us about her and said, well, the only thing is that, you know, she's beautiful and adorable and everything's just great except that she's blind. And so it took us a while to let that sink in. A few weeks even went by, and finally I reached out and called the friend, and next thing you know, we reached out to the family in South Korea, and, you know, saw her, Joe had seen her picture.
We started communicating with them by email, and this was in 1997, so it was early email days, and so we had heard that one of the sons of this parent, the parents who were fostering her, had a web page. We had heard that he had a web page and had a picture of her on it, and we knew that they were calling her Honey, and her name was Honey. And I just happened, we kind of knew what their host name was of their email. Of course, they were in Korea. And so I'm a technologist by trade, and so I just kind of, actually I hacked into their server, and I found this file called honey.htm, and there was a picture of our Hannah. And we had been spending weeks looking into congenital blindness. What causes a child to be born without eyes? And it was mind-boggling of what could have happened, how it happened, did it affect other parts of her? You know, was it going to affect her if she had children? Was it genetic? We didn't know anything.
Were we going to be
about that.
able to give her what she needed in life?
We didn't know any of this stuff. And so when I hacked in and found that webpage which had the picture of her, I called Karen in the other room and I said, "Honey,"
That was kind of it, you know, we knew.
And we took a picture of her.
Love at first
We
sight.
saw it. We saw her picture on the computer, and it was like, okay, close the books. We're done with
Nothing else,
researching.
nothing matters.
We're,
Bring her home, love
it's
her.
time for her to
It's
come
fine.
home. So we started arranging with them to get her.
We had to do a home study.
We had to do the home study.
Long process.
And we had to get, she wasn't in the chain to be adopted. So she had to be accepted into an adoption program,
Orphanage,
a licensed
yeah.
orphanage agency program in Korea. And that took a little while, but it all worked out in the end. Thankfully, the people that we know are very connected in Korea and with the agencies there. And she was being
2.5
taken
when
care
she came
of.
home. Yeah, she.
And we did have a we had some kind of testing done of hers when she was in Korea. We had
Well, that was all part of the just
Oh,
to
part of
come
the
into the
process.
U.S. Yeah, they have to do all that.
So anyway, we did find out about her. We got the process going, and what it took
So
9
that's
months
Hannah's
or
story.
9 months to 12 months for her to come home. And the family, the foster family, was amazing in that they flew here with her. And so we didn't have to go to Korea to get her.
They wanted to visit.
They wanted to visit their families here. So
And it made for a good transition.
it was an
Yeah.
amazing transition. They were able to bring her to Dulles Airport, and we met. This is all before 9/11, so we were able to meet at the gate. And there was a group of people that met her as she came off the jetway, and we sat and with 20, 30 people at the jetway, or at the end of the jetway at the gate area, for maybe 45 minutes or so, just hugging on her and letting her play. And she was kind of surprised, and she didn't really know what was going on, obviously. So, but she was an amazing little girl. And the story is that when we put her into the car seat, that she cried. She cried her.
She screamed her head off.
Screamed
all the
her
way up.
full head off.
She was
all the
scared.
way home.
She didn't know. She was
And
scared.
she
And it was
even
late,
tells
a long
that story
trip.
today, even though she doesn't remember it herself. But she tells that how she screamed her full head off until she got home. And
We put her in front of the piano and she was fine. She was happy as a lark
She was.
from then on.